My name is Tylluan. I'm a solitary pagan witch, I'm an author, and I founded the Wolf and Howl Press. And today I'm going to talk to you a little more about ritual. This is a topic I started a few talks ago, and I want to expand upon it gradually. So today I'm going to talk about rituals and how we can make them more meaningful for us. You see, I believe that one of the big problems we have with ritual is that we are made to believe we should be doing rituals in large settings like Stonehenge, Avebury, and all the big stone circle, standing stone sites that you can think of. Well, that's fine if there's a group of you, but I'm sure a lot of people listening to this are in fact solitaries, or they are members of very small groups, or they are members of larger groups who cannot always get together for a ritual. And in that case, what do? You see, I think part of the problem is that we don't learn to think small. I'll give you an example of this. Anybody who's ever voyaged to my Facebook page may have noticed that I'm quite fond of dolls' houses, or I used to be very fond of making things for them years and years ago. But I still have my dolls' houses, and I've always loved them, and to me they are like a miniature world. And I remember showing one of my doll's houses to somebody one day, and she said, oh, you want to get some figures to put in it? And I said, well, no, I never have figures in my doll's houses because I go into my doll's house. It's my doll's house. I inhabit it. And she sort of gave me a funny look and said, you're too big to get in a doll's house. And it was one of those sort of facepalm moments, you know, where you're sitting there thinking, oh no, you've missed it. What I was actually trying to say was not that when nobody was looking I crawled into my doll's house, which would be an impossibility. But what I was trying to say was that I project myself into my doll's house. I can project my thoughts into it so that actually I'm inside and I can look around and I can live within it, I can go within it, I can do things within it. Now, you may not particularly want a doll's house or any kind of miniature building. I mean, people do miniature gardens, they do small single rooms and things like that. But the principle is there that we, instead of trying to get into a great big site and then looking around and feeling swamped, which I always do, I always feel completely dwarfed by it. If you've ever been to Avebury and you've seen the size of the stones, I mean, what do you do? What on earth can you do as one small person? Well, I'm not particularly small, I know. But as one, 5 foot tall person, what can you do? So my belief is, instead of that, to get the balance a bit better, we need to project our minds into something smaller, so that in fact we don't need to travel to these sites at all. We make the sites come to us and we shrink them down, and then we're very, very comfortable there. To give you an example, it's something you might just like to try out. You might try it, come back to me and say, Tylluan, that really didn't work, that was a pile of rubbish. That's fair enough, but give it a try, because I find that this idea of thinking smaller is tremendously important. You know, we all have these little places we can go to in our heads. And I gave a talk about this last month at the Children of Artemis in their Oxfordshire gathering. And, I was asking people, do you ever have these imaginary places you go to? And an awful lot of people did. They had gardens, they had caves, they had libraries, they had castles, they had the whole kit and caboodle. So it is quite a widespread practice. People are doing it, and perhaps not realising how far you can take this into mentally going into your place. Doing your ritual here, by all means, but mentally being somewhere entirely different. And I'll give you an example. Don't know whether you can see this. Can you see this? Can you nod, Mr. Cameraman? Yes, he's nodding. Well, this is a little cottage made from resin. They were very popular about 20 odd years ago. And it's a little stone thatched cottage. And even something as tiny as this, you know, I find myself imagining, well, what would it be like to live in a place like that? To go and visit in a place like that? To sit around the fire somewhere like that? To eat a meal there? To go to sleep there? To wake up in the morning? Because, you know, a good witch has to use her imagination. We can't always get to the places we want to go. Sometimes when we do get there, they're ruined for us by litter, by other visitors, by people playing their music too loud, things like that. So it's very important to create this ideal within our own minds. And we can do it. It's just a little bit of practice. So anyway, that's just a thought for what you can do and how you can start to make your rituals come alive. You're not just sitting down doing something, 1, 2, 3, that's it, I've done it. You're making these rituals really speak, really come alive. And anyway, I think that's quite enough for now. I do hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.